Honestly, if this wasn't Ron Stallworth's memoirs, then I would have said the film was a little bit more difficult to believe. So
I would agree.
Is that fair?
I would agree with you. I don't know if I don't know. I would probably be more reserved to do it if it wasn't for if it wasn't Spike Lee doing it, if it wasn't Jordan Peele telling this true story, because I think they're responsible enough and well-equipped to be able to tell something like this, to understand the tonality of this film, of this story, to be able to package and deliver it in such a way that it has humor in it, but we're not too much off the beaten path, which is like, this is the reality of which we're living in.
Talk about connecting with the character and bringing it to life, because I can imagine that wouldn't have been easy, or was it?
No, it took a lot of work. I mean, I had a lot of documentary work, I didn't listen to any hip-hop or R&B for 3 months. I wanted to understand the time, for real, I wanted to understand the times, and I wanted that to be the platform or the canvas in which I started to paint on. So I had to understand those times, not just Ron Stallworth, but to understand what being a black man in America at that time was like. Before I even jump into Ron Stallworth's film, what would I have been doing? What would I have been listening to? What school did I go to? That's so things like that before I even got into his story.
You captured the conflicts between a black person joining an establishment and dealing with the BS that goes with that. And also fighting the good fight. That couldn't have been easy. Talk about that for a second.
It was a hell of an opportunity, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There are men and women, police officers, right, detectives, that are trying to do the right thing by their community, by the right thing by their people, that are misrepresented by, unfortunately, a lot of the police officers that are killing people, that are doing their jobs incorrectly, that are abusing the power. So the men and women that are doing their jobs the right way, this for me, I asked them to stand up and applaud yourself. This is what I dedicate this performance to you all as well, because it's important to know that there's kids out there can trust, men and women that are doing it properly, and they get it's a thankless job. So it's more like, it's a thank you, really.
Great synergy between yourself and Laura Harrier.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Easy as as it looked?
Well, I mean, with everybody, like, everybody's so good. Like, the entire cast. I mean, Spike Lee, he killed it with casting these people, these talented artists. So it was easy, a lot more pressure, because they're gonna do their job, so I better do mine. You know what I mean? But it just felt like, the familial kind of environment that Spike set, it made it easy to jump into and trust everybody. So we were just rolling.
Black love, right, at that time is easy to kind of depict when partners agree on something, but I thought the conflict between the differences that you and Laura had in terms of how you lift your community out of that iniquity,
right on.
How you serve your people, I thought that was captured great. And also what it done is it captured the fact that black people aren't this homogenous group. There are differences of opinion.
Right.
Talk about that.
Yeah, well, again, he believes he can change from the system from the inside. And that's okay. You know what I mean? There's people, they want the same thing. They went on different paths to do it. I feel like Kwame Ture, played by Corey Hawkins, who did a masterful job. He wants the same thing. He wants equality. You know what I mean? So what you're seeing sometimes, I think, in the responses, we're seeing reaction versus responding. And I think there's a difference. You know what I mean? You
touched on working with Spike. What was that like?
Dream come true, man. Yeah, I mean, this legendary man telling you action and cut. He had this sort of like this enthusiasm, this youthful exuberance about the way he worked every day on set that was contagious. And it was a great lesson for me that no matter where I am or think I'm trying to be in this business, you can be where he is and be just as happy, just as excited about what you're doing. He loves what he does. And I also realized, it dawned upon me that we are in the luckiest position to be able to do what we want to do. There are a lot of people out here that are not doing what they want to do. They're just having to make money, having to provide, but not doing it the way they want to do it. So if you get an opportunity, if you're so blessed to be able to actually make money and do what you love doing, check your ego. Leave it at the door. And that's what we did, man.
Love that, yeah. Harry Belafonte scene. Power.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, Power personified that scene there, man. Talk about the importance of inclusion.
That I actually had rapped already. I came back for that day. Spike Lee made the entire crew, staff, even the cooks, dress up in suits and ties out of respect for Harry Belafonte, and he delivered. I mean, he could still act. So, but the stories he's talking about, he lived through all of this, and he told me good job. So I was just like,
you're gonna take that?
Yeah, I'll take that to the bank, baby.
Of course, man. Well done. I appreciate
Thank you,
your time.